Welcome to Eventful Endeavors, secrets to crafting the perfect celebration. If you're planning an event and looking for useful tips from industry experts, you're in the right place. So get ready to take some notes and we'll dive right in. This is Eventful Endeavors.
Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Welcome back to another episode of Eventful Endeavors. And today I'm really happy and excited to have Tony Miller, who is the owner and the venue manager of Mill Pond Estate. Hi there, Tony.
Hi.
Thank you so much for being here today. How are you doing today?
I'm wonderful. Excited to be here. Thanks so much for having me.
Absolutely. It was very easy. I came across your website and I saw this beautiful piece of land, and you guys offer so much of like just natural beauty out there. And I said, like, I really got to get a hold of this lady and see what's going on. I want to hear all about it and some of our listeners. So once again, Mill Pond Estate is located in beautiful Tampa Bay area here in Florida. Tony, I'm actually a little curious because I was actually reading a little bit about your bio before that call. And I know that you have tons of love for nature and animals as well. I know you also do volunteer work in that area. So, yeah, I would love to hear all about it.
Yeah. So a little bit about me first, you're wanting?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I actually grew up on the island of Barbados. So I'm actually an islander. So I think my love of all things nature and outdoors kind of stem from there. I did move to the US when I was 18 to start studying. But yeah, I've always been drawn to like being outside, touching grass, all that sort of stuff. I started in marketing. That was my career for about, I want to say like 15 plus years. So unfortunately that meant I was in the office a lot, didn't get out, having to sit behind a computer. And eventually I was just like, I need to be in nature again. So I like to call it my quarter life crisis, not a midlife crisis, a quarter life crisis. And I just started Googling land. I was like, I gotta get out. And I found this piece of property, and yeah, it was just meant to kind of just be a family estate for me and my family to just enjoy. And it's really blossomed into something that I couldn't have ever imagined.
That's amazing. That's so much fun. And, I'm really curious. So, after, getting your bachelor's degree in communications at the University of Tampa, what actually led you to say, like, I would like to actually start my own venue and just start this path? What happened?
So it's funny, I got interviewed, I think it was about 2 years now, and the title of that interview was like accidental venue owner. So I really stumbled into this quite on accident. It was around COVID time, everything had kind of shut down. And I was like, oh, thank goodness I have my property because I can at least like still get out. I know for a lot of people that wasn't possible. So I feel very grateful for that. And what ended up happening was a lot of people would just drive past the entrance and they would slow down. I was like, okay, that's fine. But eventually it kept happening and happening. And then one brave soul actually came up to the gate and called me over. I was like, uh-oh, what's happening now? And they started off as like, I promise I'm not a crazy person. I was like, really? That's what a crazy person would say. But they were actually asking if they could use the property. Their event had unfortunately been canceled due to COVID. Everybody had to kind of like lock down, social distance and stuff like that. But we had this great big open area so people could stay 6 feet apart. They wanted to. I was like, absolutely, come on. So I have this really wonderful memory of just having a really small, intimate ceremony on my spot, and it's just them and a couple people. And I was like, oh, that's really sweet. And then I went about my day, and then it just kept happening. And it just kept
Wow.
happening. And more people were like, oh, I heard that you could do events and we could social distance. Can it please happen? I was like, sure. So I kept letting people on. And then I was like, eventually I'm going to have to like make this a legit thing, liability, make sure that we're doing everything above board. So I literally accidentally stumbled into being a venue owner. So I'm the accidental venue owner.
Wow, this is the most unique story I actually ever heard. Usually, people they, kind of have a plan or something that, has changed and they just want to shift and do something else. I love that story so much. It's just like, okay, so I guess this is happening, so we might as well do it right. I love that approach.
Yeah.
This is awesome. This is really great. And I did say earlier that you're an animal lover and you do have a horse, Bounty, is that right?
Well, I now have 6 horses.
6 horses?
But it did start off with Mr. Bounty when I was having my quarter life crisis, as I like to call it. I also bought a horse. Would not recommend just buying a horse off the internet. I got very lucky and I had to find a place for him. So, you know how they say they put the cart before the horse? I got the horse before the land.
You got wow, you really got it already. Wow. So I am just curious. So where's Bounty and the other 5 horses are currently staying? Are they staying at the venue by any chance?
Absolutely live at the venue. In fact, this is their home. I just come here. I just work here. This is their home. Everything that was created here truly was created for my love of animals, and just my love of nature. Again, this was not built to be a venue. It just so happened that I love creating beautiful outdoor spaces, and I guess that lends itself well to an outdoor venue.
Okay, this is amazing. And I am just curious, and I don't know what's going to be the answer,
Okay.
but do you guys offer by any chance within your services, can the bride slash groom or both can actually, walk down the aisle actually riding a horse? Is that a thing or probably not?
So we haven't had somebody ride down the aisle yet. I wouldn't be opposed to it. I think that's pretty funny. But we do have a carriage ride that we offer. So they can do like a carriage ride entrance that's really popular. And actually, it's not Bounty that does that. It's my other horse, Tango. He's our carriage ride horse.
Wow. Okay, this is so exciting. I really think it might be. I mean, I feel like a lot of couples would love that. I know that if I had to get remarried right now, I would definitely go on that track. Of course, my marriage. So I love that. And and I just want to like clarify, how long is it now that you are with Mill Pond Estate? For how long now has it been?
About 5 years, because again, we started really with when COVID started, and then I think I got my incorporation documents like November of that year, so about 5 years.
Okay, so it's been a little bit, and and obviously you have experience in the industry, and I do have some questions that I usually love asking on this podcast, and I'm sure that our listeners are actually really looking forward to hearing your answers about it. And this is more about the industry, and you've been around now for 5 years. What are like current trends that you are now seeing, like in the wedding industry?
Um, I still see a little bit of a fallout from like COVID time. So I am still seeing smaller weddings. They are starting to get a little bit bigger, but I'm still seeing the majority of mine are capping at around 80, 75, even a 50. So more intimate kind of celebrations. I'm also seeing couples really inject their personality or something about their story into it. I'm not seeing, just a traditional, you know, story or like just a cookie cutter wedding. I'm seeing them really try to inject some personality into it. Like a recent wedding I had, the bride's grandpa used to grow jalapenos and they did a whole like for their like seating chart, they did a whole like pop shed and it had all these jalapeno decorations and a really important nod to him. So I'm seeing a lot of that, and then they're incorporating how they met. Like if they met in a bookstore, their seating chart is going to be books and stuff like that. So really like intimate and unique touches that really speaks to their love story.
Yeah, I love that, and I can actually attest to it myself as a performer. I am playing in a lot of weddings, and it feels like nowadays people are trying to just get the more personal aspect,
Yeah.
just bring it in there and make it a little bit more unique on their end. So yeah, I love those ideas. I actually come across them as well, and this is really cool. Which actually takes me to another question, which is gonna be actually totally different. What things couples should never do? Like any cringe-worthy things you hate seeing at a wedding.
What should couples never do? Oh, that's interesting. I think I've ever seen anything cringe. As long as it's something that's important to them, I think is really cool. I mean, my number one issue that I see is people kind of taking a backseat of what they want because of what other people think they should do. Like, I really want my couples to just focus on them. What is it that you want? This is your day. Even if somebody's helping them pay, my client and my duty is to the couple that's getting married. So, of course, I will take into consideration what the person that's paying what they think, but ultimately my goal is to make sure my couple is happy. And I think at the end of the day, everybody wants the couple to be happy. So I like to make sure it's like, hey, if you want it a certain way, don't shrink back. So I would say the cringiest thing, but it's not really cringy, it's very common. do not compromise on what you want. This is your day, so take
Agreed.
it.
Agreed. Absolutely agreed. You know, what is like the most unique fun idea that you've seen recently? Any like something I know a lot of people nowadays are bringing like photo booth or they have the photo app sharing app, you know, they're just using it and guests are actually helping out and just taking photos.
Right. Hmm.
Actually witnessed, have you witnessed anything like it or anything else that pops in your head like, oh, this is actually really fun or super unique?
Yeah, I see a lot of that too. And like each guest can have like a little Polaroid so they can capture the day for the couple too. I've seen a lot of that. I think the most exciting thing that I have, well, we're talking about it. Hasn't happened yet, but we're talking about it. Is one of the grooms is an avid skateboarder, so we're trying to figure out how we can add a half pipe somewhere during the ceremony so he can show off his skills. So we're talking about that. I think that's pretty unique. The other unique thing was a helicopter landing. That was pretty cool. Yeah.
Okay, I've never heard that. Okay, like
Mhm.
the horses. This is a whole different thing right now. Okay,
Yeah,
love the
a
horse
very
landing.
helicopter.
It's more of like a James Bond.
It was pretty neat. It was pretty neat. It was pretty neat.
Wow, this is amazing. You know, I'm curious. Is there any advice you can offer? You know, for someone just starting on their planning journey because it is a lot.
Yeah, it can get very overwhelming. I mean, I always kind of preach this is like, I know a lot of people don't like to hear this, but I would suggest getting a wedding planner. I know. Weddings are expensive, but just having that person in your corner to coordinate with all the different vendors on your behalf, to be there on the day, to know that you can just go and relax and enjoy your day. I really think putting an investment into a wedding planner is my number one thing that I would suggest. Even if it's just a day of coordinator, at least a day of coordinator.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's already so many things going on, like in terms of like,
Mhm.
I've got it right. You know, you have entertainment, you have a caterer, you have flower girl. Sorry, yeah, the team. Everything else is going. So many vendors are involved. So yeah, definitely don't try to do it on your own. It's yes, it's absolutely expensive, but it's just part of the wedding, and you just want that peace of mind because this day is already going to be so overwhelming and maybe stressful in a way. So yeah, probably just try to make your life a little easier.
A little bit easier. And I would also say, like, to really make sure that you're jiving with your wedding planner, your photographer too. Like, you have to have a really good rapport with them, so on the day, like you feel comfortable. And then most importantly, your venue team has to be somebody that you jive with too. You're going to probably be talking to your venue team the most. Usually people book your venue first. I have people booking out almost 2 years in advance. So that's 2 years of communication with this team. So, you want to make sure that it is a team that's in your corner rooting for you. I am my couple's biggest cheerleaders. I am their biggest fans. I love to serve them. So make sure when you're choosing a venue, the venue team, like the venue can look amazing, it can look beautiful, but if the venue team just isn't like as communicative as you want or not your biggest fans, you know, I would say find another one.
Absolutely. And you know, it's actually, I feel like it's such a great peace of mind for the listeners as well, you know, to understand it's not about just getting the venue. It's also about having like an A team that actually stands there, not just to host the wedding, to be there to support you with every need. And just, you know, it's a team effort game, you know, between the venue and the vendors and everybody else who is involved. So, yeah, that's actually such a great reassurance to hear that you know you guys are all into you know just like let's make this work, you know, let's be there and we'll make sure you guys will have a wonderful wedding. So yeah, that's a great peace of mind. I'm sure
Yeah.
everybody hear that.
I know it's kind of like I know it's kind of cringy, but vibes are important. Make sure the vibes are right.
That's fair. That's fair. That's very fair. So, you know, I was actually, and again, I was exposed, you know, to the venue, to the photos, to the website, to the social media, and obviously, it's a beautiful piece of land. Just talking about acres of just nature. So that's amazing. How about? Can you tell us, like, what makes your venue or services, you know, unique, different than the others?
Well, a lot of people tell me when they walk onto Mill Pond that it doesn't really feel like Florida. It feels like somewhere else. Like there's plenty of places where you can go and see oak trees and gardens and stuff like that. But I really think that what we did was elevate it to a different level. Again, none of these things were built with a venue in mind. They really were just something in my head that I thought would be nice for myself. So I think there's a lot of unique touches. And we also took our time with it. Everything, every space that is on the venue has been thoughtfully put in. It isn't just like, oh, we need restrooms. Put a restroom there. Actually take my time and think about what would I want out of a outdoor wedding bathrooms? Like people underestimate this. If you're in an outdoor, make sure the bathrooms are good. Okay. Just because we're outdoor doesn't mean that we're just gonna do porta potties. Okay. Get an outdoor wedding with nice bathrooms. So yeah, everything that I've designed was very thoughtfully crafted to also enhance and not take away from the natural beauty because that's why we're here. So every deck, every tile, every paver I put in was thoughtfully placed to make sure I'm enhancing nature and not taking away from it. So I would say that's pretty unique. My other thing is like me and my team, we're over communicative. Like we're gonna send you an email every month. Like, "Hey, do you need help with anything?" A lot of people will have a venue, and because we have such long lead times, you're not gonna hear from them for like 6 months, 8 months. No, you're going to hear from us every month. So make sure you like it because you're going to be hearing from us. And we're just so service oriented. Like we just want to serve our couples to the best of our ability 100% of the time. Like that is our main goal and focus here is to make sure that they are accommodated and happy and feel loved and appreciated and listened to.
I love that. And it's like two things you just said, and I was actually, you know what? I actually didn't think about it. And it makes a lot of sense. First of all, it's the layout. Nobody ever talks about that. Your outdoor wedding, and sometimes you're like, excuse me, where's like the nearest restroom? And then you just find out it's like 10 miles away from
Oh,
your
yeah, yeah.
where you're actually at. So I love that. Layout, means a lot, especially, if it makes sense. And just like you said, even though it's outdoors, it could still be a nice restroom.
Make it cute. Make it cute.
Gotta make it cute. Yeah, and communication. Yeah, it's so important, so spot on. Things change, life happens, people are busy, but yeah, as long as you are like on top of things, and I feel like every couple, at the end of the day, they will be really appreciative towards the fact like they are really on top of it. They actually want to make sure that everything is
Oh,
okay.
absolutely. It's part about also just providing a luxury service. Like, I don't want them to have a question that I have not answered for them before they have even thought about it. I don't want them to be chasing me down like, I don't know what to do. I'm going to lay it all out for you. You don't have to worry about it. And I just think that's part of being a luxury service is making sure that they have the answers to questions they didn't even think they needed.
Absolutely, absolutely. I love that. All right, Tony. So I'll tell you what, and now I got some questions that I'm sure our listeners actually are really looking forward to hearing too. This is more about booking with your venue. So we're just gonna talk, a little more of like rapid questions. Just talk about your availability and flexibility. How's your current availability? Like how far in advance are you booked right now?
Yeah, so we haven't opened our 2027 books yet. So right now we are currently still booking for 2026 in the fall.
Perfect. What kind of flexibility do you have, like with guest count, in case it changes? I know the venue accommodates up to 150 people. Is that right?
It is. So we don't price with guest count in mind. It's just more like your add-ons or whatever. So there's the same price regardless of how many guests that you're gonna have.
Okay, very cool. And now, can you give like us an average like event size and cost at your venue? It's like it doesn't have to be like obviously on the dot. Something more of like average, like more general.
Absolutely. I even actually offer, if you go to my website under pricing, I actually have a sample budget on there for couples to look at because I know that's the biggest thing is like, okay, you see, sometimes they don't even show you the numbers I do, but sometimes like, okay, but what does that actually mean? I say on average, my couples spend with just the venue alone. This is excluding, like your officiant, if you go with the outdoor florists and stuff like that, I would say that on average, they'll spend about 15, 18 with me just alone and then the rest will be
Absolutely. And I love what you just mentioned, actually. I see it's actually really trending right now. A lot of venues today have some of them, they call it like the calculator or anything on a website.
calculator. Yeah.
Yeah, because couples are actually, and it makes sense, weddings are expensive and couples are trying to somehow stretch a budget or make something happen. So I love the fact, and that's actually really true. I actually came across it on your website as well. So there will be pricing available. You will have, an idea what's going on for any kind of services. So that's beautiful. That's awesome to have it out there. Super
Another
happy.
thing that we do is once, if you do book with us, we have an itemized invoice. So you're going to see everything, even down to like, okay, I ordered chargers. Like everything is itemized, everything is a line item. All the fees are all outlined there. So there's not going to be any surprises because nobody wants surprises.
That's right. I love that. Can you just give me like an estimate? What is your deposit amount usually for the event?
Okay, so I know that we just recently changed it, so I apologize. Amber is also one of my venue coordinators, so I think it's just a deposit of I think it's about 2,000, and that's just to hold your date, and that will go towards your actual end of total. It's not like an extra fee on top of that, but it's just 2,000, I believe. It's either 1 to 2,000. Sorry, Amber, and then that will hold your fee for you, your date for you. Sorry.
Got it. Got it. Perfect. What is the cancellation policy?
Cancellation policy. Oh, well, luckily we haven't had to use that very much, but basically,
That's good. That's all. Yeah.
so basically you can cancel. Obviously, it would be very, very sad. But what happens is like we'll send you a cancellation contract. So depending on what you paid up to the date, we are going to keep anything else that you would have been liable for the rest of the time. You don't owe us anymore.
Right. Awesome. It takes me to another topic here, which is like the catering and the vendors. Do you have an in-house like catering service, or do couples like need to provide their own caterer?
Yes. Okay. So we do have our preferred caterers that we work with a lot. So we obviously prefer that you go with them just because we work really well together. They know how to work in an outdoor venue and stuff like that. But you're totally fine to bring in whatever caterer you are. There's just a buyout fee that you would need to purchase at that.
Got it. Got it. That's perfect. And
And
all
I'm
their
gonna go back to cancellations really quick.
yeah, absolutely.
Another thing that I would urge couples to do is to look into cancellation insurance. It's something that we're really pushing now. It's a good way to and it covers much more than just you're canceling your event. It could help you with like rings, covering the cost of rings, dresses, even if a dress got stained or something like that. It covers a wide thing that any vendors that didn't show up for you. And so I really encourage people to look into cancellation insurance. Sorry, back to what you were saying.
Actually, it's a great point. It's very smart because just like we said, life happens. You never know what's going to happen. So it's best to be covered. And especially when you're already so much invested into your wedding, you never know. Hopefully, you'll never have to use that. But just to have it like, just as a peace of mind, that's actually a great tip. Yeah. I thought everybody can agree on that. So yeah. And there was another thing I wanted to ask, which is like, are there like any preferred vendors you recommend? And I know that you said it you do because you have a lot of vendors you work with, and obviously, no one knows the venue better than they do because they've been there. And my actually the second part of the question, are the couples required to use them?
No, the only vendor you're required to use is our bar service. That has to do with liquor liability and how much they cover us for. But other than that, you're free to use whatever vendors you want. Our preferred vendors have been with us from the start. I'm talking the start, as in before I even built some of the structures on there, I invited them out and be like, what are your pain points with other venues? What do you need from us to do your job well? And then we've actually taken their feedback, like, we had an idea for the bar. We talked to our preferred bar partner and they're like, hey, can you actually add shelves here? Can you do this here? We're like, absolutely. We talked to the caterers, like, we're an outdoor venue. What can we do? Well, you need outlets here, 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 and here. So the reason why they're our preferred is because they've actually helped us build this so that they can do their job.
And that's totally fair. And they've been there all along. So it makes total sense to me. And now I just want to like discuss a little bit about the venue capacity and layout. And now I know that your maximum capacity of the venue is about 150 people. Is this for both the ceremony and the reception? Okay. All right, perfect. Is there a designated bridal suite or changing area?
So actually, I'm coming from you live from our bridal suite. It is actually it's a 3-bedroom house. And the counter that I'm on right now is a huge counter for makeup and stuff. And then also, we have another getting ready suite. It's called the Barn Cottage. And that also has a giant lanai that, you can relax with. You get a little bit of a better view of the animals if that's your thing from that one. So yes, we have two dedicated getting ready spots.
Yay, that sounds fun and super
Yep.
spacious too. I love that. Okay, I'm like, let's just for the couples out there, just get married to enjoy that suite. Like, don't even worry. Just go get married. That's it. I love that. Is there is there an ample parking available at the venue for the guests, and is it complimentary?
It's complimentary, and we also have parking assistance to help your guests park because as much as we all think that we're good at parking, being in this industry is like, no, we're not. No, we're not. None of us are. We're gonna have somebody to help you.
Now, I know that we are technically out, in the nature, but
Sure.
are there any like curfews or like noise, like ordinances, like people should be aware of, like say, like, okay, music cannot be played past 10 or 11 p.m.
So our property is zoned agricultural, and we're actually an agritourism operation. So there is no noise ordinance, there is no deadline, there's no cutoff. I mean, I like to go to bed around 1 a.m., so sometimes I'm like, but there's actually no hard fast rule. Also, I bribe all my neighbors with fresh eggs for my chickens, so we should be good to go.
Hey, I love it. So technically, they could be partying all night long. Okay, that's fun. I love that. I love that. All right, for the party people, yeah, definitely Mill Pond is your venue. You can party all night with the horses and everybody and all the beautiful other creatures out there. So, and I bet that you guys, you have probably so many like I don't know if like wildlife, but you probably have a lot of animals like just wandering around because this is their home like before an actual venue. So, it's be really exciting.
Yeah, so we actually have a resident horned owl. Her name is Willow. This is the first year she actually had a baby. His name was Hubert. So we have a bunch of like pictures and stories of them on our Instagram if you want to check that out. But yeah, we do get a variety of wildlife. Obviously, we have the cranes that come. They love to come and show up during wedding days. So they're like paid actors. So you'll have beautiful cranes in your backdrop and stuff like that. Obviously, butterflies galore.
I really love that, and I feel like it's just a beauty of it. You're just gonna have some more guests, at the wedding. At your wedding, you never show up. I mean, you got
We're
to
cool guests.
yeah.
Yeah, she likes to call out during because most of the ceremonies are in the afternoon. That's when she likes to do her call. So maybe if you're a guest here or you have a wedding here, you'll hear Willa go, and that's just cheering you on for your next date.
I'm just trying to picture because I was actually again was looking at a website and I know that you have the broken oak, which is
Mhm.
where the actually ceremony takes place, and it's beautiful. You have the moss tree, like, right behind the couple, and it almost seems to me like it's out of the movies, honestly. So it's really beautiful, and I cannot stop like right now picturing just a horse coming out behind it.
All right. The next couple of like, sorry, Manny wants a horse. We're putting a horse in your wedding. It's happening.
Yeah, all right. I got to do it. I have to now. Okay, this is too good, honestly. Uh, you guys have like so many beautiful estates, like at a venue, and I know you have the flower garden, which is looks gorgeous. Also, the lily the little waterfall going on, little lake view. I like that. And you have the Grand Meadow, which is actually where the reception and the ceremony takes place. It's just a huge covered area, which is great. It actually takes me, Tony, to another question that I have. And we live in Florida, and with you never know, because the weather is not really stable. That's understated. One day it could be really sunny, and then out of nowhere huge rain showers going on. Could
Yeah,
go for like maybe 20 minutes and then boom, it's like never
funny.
happened. Yeah, funny. And the sun goes out, which actually, takes me to another question. Do you have a backup plan for the outdoor weddings in case of bad weather?
Yeah, so because we are primarily outdoor, I knew it was important to get the best tent I could find. So we have a huge sailcloth tent and we actually have a little bump out tent next to it. So all of our tents have clear walls. So if in case that we're getting really torrential rain, we can pull those walls down and you'll still be able to see all of the surroundings around you because it's clear, so you'll still see the landscape. So your backup plan is going to be that little bump out area next to the main tent, and that way we can flip the main tent if we need to. So your tent is going to be a backup.
Perfect. Perfect. So you definitely got it covered. So plan B is definitely available. Any additional cost associated with using the
Absolutely.
battery case? No.
Absolutely not. All we ask is that because it is sometimes consuming to put the panels up, we'll talk with the couple like a week leading up to like, hey, we're just going to have them there in case. And then you make the call about 8 a.m. if we're going to take them, roll them all down. And trust me, like me and my staff, we work outdoors throughout the whole season. So we know what it feels like to be out here. So we've made every accommodation we can to make it comfortable. We have heaters when it's cold. We have a fire pit. We have fans. And so we have all of that for your guests to feel comfortable.
You're definitely prepared for any type of weather, any type, and I love it. It sounds
And we
just
also do it during hurricane season because the tent will end up in Orlando. So we do close down during that season.
oh, yeah, I mean, that's true. It could happen, but yeah, that's fair. I get that. Yeah, we got hurricane season, unfortunately, here in
Yeah.
Florida. Yeah, it's probably wise, just to,
I mean,
um,
I do get occasionally is like people it's like, hey, can I have my wedding in August? I'm like, you totally can. It won't be here.
you might wind up in Tallahassee. We can start in Tampa, but you never
Yeah.
know where it's gonna end up. Oh my God, this is too good. But okay, perfect. So definitely, I see you got it covered. You got, everything like to accommodate, honestly, like a perfect event. So for all of our listeners, definitely check out the website. There's so much going on there, not just the pricing and everything else. Just check out the photos. Just fall in love with the venue. That's what I was doing. So yeah, definitely check it out. And once again, we will make sure to actually attach over here a link to your Facebook page, Instagram, TikTok, whatnot, so people can actually check out Mill Pond and just enjoy this. And definitely consider it for your next wedding or any kind of event you guys are envisioning. So that's always great to keep in mind. Um, I'm gonna talk about just a few questions about more of like the timing and the setup. How early can vendors access the venue for setup, like on the wedding day?
Yeah. So depending on if we have a wedding the day before, your vendors can come and drop off what they need the day before. If we do have a wedding the day before, then vendors can come on at 9 a.m.
Perfect. That sounds like a lot of time, and that's great. And yeah, you never know. You might have to use it all. So it's really safe. And is there like an event coordinator? And I know you're obviously on site. So I would assume you're gonna be on site. Are you on site for every wedding? And is there anybody else who's working alongside you, like the day off? More of like
Sure. Now I get to shout out my team. So I have the wonderful Amber Miller. We're like sisters. So she's going to be your main venue contact. I'm also there all the time because I live on site. So there will be somebody on site for your wedding. And literally, those are the two people that you're going to be talking to me or you're going to be talking to Amber majority of the time. You're not going to have like somebody that you don't know the day off and you're like, what's happening? And they don't know anything about what's going on. We are literally with you from the time you book to you say your IGs, to you say your exit. It's going to be
And I love it. I was just about to ask, like, how involved are you in the planning process? And you're 100% out there, with Amber, or it's just like, and once again, it's such great reassurance, like for any couples, starting to plan like their journey together and the wedding, to know that their venue, they're on top of everything and they will be out there, helping them out as much as possible to make sure that their perfect day will be a perfect day.
that's
So
our goal.
so I love that. Tony, before I let go, I'm just curious because it seems like it's really convenient for you because you actually live on site. So can you actually you don't have to like enjoy the amazing traffic in Florida. It's just all right, heading to work. I love that. So, I'm just curious, can you just picture us like how is like a typical day of yours looks like?
Event day or just a regular day?
You know what? Let's go with a regular day for now. Okay?
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, so regular day, I'll wake up around. I do like to sleep in. That's why I have staff that will take care of all the animals, so I can sleep in now, which was good. But if I don't have them, typically I'll have to get up around 8 a.m. and start getting all the animals out. During the summer, my horses are indoors because it's really, really hot for them. So then I'm switching them back and forth to the different paddocks, and I have to let the chickens out. And then I might go for a quick walk around the property, just check things like fence lines, like if was there a storm last night? Were there any limbs down? Any plants that need addressing? I'll do all of that. And then I typically sit down and start my day at the computer around 11. And I typically just go from 11 to like 5. I'm typically just working, teeny bit of a workaholic.
Work day. Yeah, I hear
But
you.
on event days, we actually, because the Getting Ready Suites is actually where we live, we make sure that all of our stuff is put away and everything's clean and ready for our guests to come. We'll put out like towels, we'll light a candle, we'll set the mood, and then we're just kind of running around helping vendors that have come in early with their loading, setup, and stuff like that. If I'm doing florals, because we do offer in-house florals, now that is a whole other ball game. Usually I'm starting that from the night before, just getting everything ready. And then we have like our whole staging floral place where I'm like, okay, these centerpieces go here and there. And so I would say that every day is different. I mean, because I'm dealing with couples, I'm dealing with events, I'm dealing with animals. So every day is kind of a new adventure. No pun, truly.
Tony, I love that so much. You got so many things going on. So you're definitely a very busy woman, but I can tell, that you are definitely, on top of everything when it comes to the venue. And I'm sure to any couples listening to this podcast right now, check it out. I feel like Tony is gonna be probably your best address, to host your beautiful wedding. So check it out. She's gonna be right there for you. And before we're gonna wrap it up here, once again, folks, if you're listening and tuning in right now, check out Mill Pond Estate, located in the beautiful Tampa Bay area. Just go on the website, check it out. We're gonna make sure also find it out here. We have some links for you for their TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. And wow, I mean, I had such a great time, Tony. Tell me, I mean, tell me,
Yeah, that was
yeah, it was so much fun. And before I let you go, can you tell us like one more thing that you believe couples should probably think about when they start like planning their journey? Another one thing they should have in mind, but the venue and a wedding coordinator, obviously a necessity. Anything that comes up to your head that, hey guys, keep that in mind.
The day is going to go really, really fast. I would talk to your wedding planner and see if you can put into a timeline just 10 minutes for you and your partner to just take it all in. You've done all the planning. Everybody's here. Everybody's having a good time. Take those 10 minutes to like just look at what you've accomplished and look towards your future and just be like, wow, we did it.
We made it through. I love that. I love that. Well, once again, Tony Miller, the owner and the venue manager of Mill Pond Estate. Thank you so much for being here today. I really appreciate that.
I had so much fun. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course, of course. And once again, guys, until next time, this was our today's episode for Eventful Endeavors. Until next time, happy Wednesday, everybody. Thank you so much.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Eventful Endeavors, Secrets to Crafting the Perfect Celebration. We hope to have left you with some actionable ideas for your own event. If you like the show, please subscribe and definitely leave us a review. We read every comment. So until next time, happy planning and see you soon on Eventful Endeavors.